right, so we got a lead band. It's got a lot of corrosion. It's leaking. These have to be completely replaced from the top all the way back. We'd have to cut the whole T out, up above and below, and couple it. All that has to be rebuilt with PVC. You cannot, there's nothing more you can do there, because this has all been, right here, what they take is oaken thread here, and they pour lead in there. You can't fuck with that anymore. Cannot be done. It's very dangerous. All right, so we cut the lead band out, and here's where the hole was. Big old hole on the side that you couldn't see because it was facing towards the joist there. So now, see how it beat up this floor is we're gonna go ahead and start treating it with liquid wood. Start giving it a nice treatment, start hardening it up, and then we can proceed with the wood epoxy after that's cured. So that's coming up. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put our liquid wood in.
Go, man. Man. Great minds think alike.
Yeah. All right, 2-part epoxy for the liquid wood. Just gonna treat this wood. All righty. Just gonna go ahead and stir it up, mix it up. Part of it. All right, so we got the the liquid wood all in the fibers. Soaked it in, went underneath where that break right there is. It's all gonna solidify again, all in the corners. All right, there it is. That's the liquid wood application. Now we're gonna let that cure, and then we will come back to that. All right, that's it. All right, so we used the Rockite leveler to kind of fill this space up finally. It's been a combination of liquid wood epoxy layers, and now we just, because the floor is so uneven and they didn't want to tear everything out, we are using Rockite to kind of level this out, and then we use some vinyl stick tile there to kind of, fill the gap up there. So it's kind of what we're looking to do now. So that's next. Alrighty. So here we are, we're working on the brace before we cut this pipe. We're gonna, we got the riser clamp here, and we're gonna take these clamps here, we're gonna put the wood in them and lock them down, and then they're gonna support the brace. So then when I cut here, down here, that gives me a spot for the fern coat to go right there. All right, so here we are, starting to build the framework for this pipe to hang on. So once I get everything locked in with the braces, then we will we'll lower this down onto this. Once this is locked in, lower it down, clamp it tight, and then we will go ahead and make our cuts down here. Cut it right about here, come in with the Sawzall, and that'll be it. So I want to make sure that's back enough though, so we got room for the Sawzall to get in there. So something like that. But I would definitely want it to sit even. So basically, like that should do it. I should better get in with this saw. So I can get in, then we can just slice it across, and that'll be it. All right, so we've been using these Spax power legs. Those are, pretty strong. So that's what we're using now. All right, so here we have the mounts built. So what we did is it took two 2x4s, drilled 3 power legs in, just braced that, then we braced this with a bolt going through, and then tighten at the end with the washer. So this is the brace. This is gonna sit, and there's 2 of them for each side. So those are built now. All right. All right, so we're getting this lined up. Got the metal plate I put on here too, just to help rest on there further. Now we're gonna go ahead and lock it down. All right, so there we are. We got the mount braces done. This is sitting on the braces now. We're now just cranking it. We already did the impact on it, but now we're just using the wrench to give that extra tightening that it needs to really grip that pipe. So when I cut it, everything's good. All right, there we are. We're tightened up. We're now ready to make the cut. All right, so cut through, all the way through, and as you can see, all the load transferred to here. And it did drop just ever slightly when I cut through. Dropped just ever a little bit slightly. It's now supported by the load here and by the clamp. So we are now locked in. Had I not made this brace, that whole pipe probably would have dropped straight down. So it is holding the weight so far, but let's cut the below now and we'll get that out of there. That's next. So we're down here now, cutting the bottom end of the sanitary tee in the stack so we can get it released, and then we can start rebuilding the PVC next. Put the couplers on and get it rolling. All right, so here we are. We've got the pipe lined up below, and flange up here. We got that lined up where we want it, so that's going to be nice and tight with that. Put the coupler on, which is right there. So we're well on our way to the next stage. All right, so here we are. We got it dry fitted, lined up. Everything's lined up, cut. All right, so we got the main stack lined up. We got it onto the cast iron and the PVC, like so. All right, we're gonna leave all that. Let's start getting this all lined up now. We're gonna do the next. Okay, now we gotta line this up. The next part. So we're gonna go ahead and put him in. Just start building it over until we're got it right on point. We're gonna see. Let's see if this is already on point. Hold it up and see. All right, so here we are with the elbow here. So when we put it in, you can see it's gonna line right up with the hole. When it goes in, it'll line right up. So that's what we want. All right, so we're gonna get ready to glue this. Let's wipe these drips a little bit. All right, so here we are. We got the elbow now all lined up. Let's get a measurement here of what pipe we're gonna need. We need about 9-inch. All right, let's cut us a 9-inch on this. Mark it off. All right, let's catch this. All right, let's mark this out 9-inch. We'll grab just a little more than 9-inch, just for the extra, in case I drop it a little deeper. All right, here we go. go. All right, so here we are. We got the everything up. Everything's lined up with the hole there. Let's go up top and do the flange next. All right, there we are. We got the flange glued into the pipe, flat to the floor. All right, there it is. So we'll be able to lock that right down. Key holes are lined up. Boom. Slide it, bolt, slide it, line right up. All right, there we are. Now we can start locking everything down, lock down the pipes. And we're done. When we lock that flange down, we can get the toilet ready. All righty, there we are. Everything's lined up. Okay, the flange is built, pipes are rebuilt. That's the old stuff there. All right, so we got this all locked in. One final little catch on the shield. All right, boom, it's locked tight. Got the zinc stainless steel, rust-proof screws in there, which are good to have, nice and big, not no little wimpy stuff. All right, so there we are. Everything's locked in place. Look, flange is locked in. Everything's locked on. Super solid. Everything's solid as can be. Real solid. All right. All right, we got the toilet installed on the flange, locked down. We got to do drywall later.